The My Park game mode in the NBA 2K series has become extremely popular over the years, releasing some titles that had an absolutely amazing park scene. What was the best park, in your opinion, in the NBA 2K series? In today's video, we're going to be going over all the relevant 2Ks that had a great park experience and talking about which one could potentially be the best. Before this video starts, I just want to let you guys know that this isn't going to be in exact order because obviously a list like this is all personal opinion and personal preference, but for most of them, they're going to be in the order which I personally think was the best and what I've seen other people say. So some of these are switched around a little bit, like mostly the top 3. Don't get angry at me. It's just going to be mostly personal opinion and what most people think. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. NBA 2K18, to nobody's surprise, is coming in at the very bottom of the list when it comes to the park experience. Now, I can't even call it park because this is where the 2K franchise decided that they were going to try something new and innovative and introduce the thing that we now know as the neighborhood. And the crazy thing about this is some people who played the NBA 2K franchise never actually got to experience the real park, and they only got to experience the neighborhood. Now, when it comes to NBA 2K18, I will respect 2K for trying to do something new and trying to introduce a different alternative to the park. And that was obviously with the neighborhood. And that did not go as planned. About 99% of the people who play NBA 2K did not enjoy the switch from park to the neighborhood. There were so many reasons why this didn't work. For example, the neighborhood was more of like an open world kind of concept that 2K was going for. You could walk into stores, you could walk into tattoo shops, barber shops, etc. But the only problem with that is that it took so much time to actually walk to and from stores. It took way too long to walk to the courts. I know you guys remember in NBA 2K18, the twos court was literally at the very end of the neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, and it literally took a solid minute to walk from the tunnel to the twos court to actually get a game. Therefore, games weren't really that popular in NBA 2K18, and the game thoroughly just died out. Not even just the reason due to the neighborhood, the gameplay and a lot of the features in NBA 2K18 made the park/neighborhood very unenjoyable. Gameplay consisted of blow-bys and snatchbacks, as well as hitting very poor shots. Like, I'm talking heavily contested shots were going in, and on top of that, they took away the rep system and added in the road to 99, which I could literally go on for days about how stupid that was. It basically encouraged the people to sit in my career all day and not actually go to the park/neighborhood. So NBA 2K18, to no one's surprise, comes in at the very last place. Next up on the list, the second worst 2K when it comes to the My Park experience is NBA 2K20. Now, I know there's going to be some mixed opinions on this. Some people enjoy NBA 2K20, but most people do not enjoy NBA 2K20. I personally think that I have been a little too harsh on this game, but I think a lot of it is warranted. NBA 2K20 should not be this bad of a park experience for a video game, considering the fact of what they actually did with NBA 2K20 this year. They brought back the rep system, which was amazing, and they also added a brand new badge progression badge system to NBA 2K20 that is the best thing we've ever seen in the history of NBA 2K. Now, those are the only real two things I can compliment NBA 2K20 for when it comes to the My Park or neighborhood experience, is because NBA 2K20 just did nothing this year. Other than what I mentioned about those additions, they really didn't do much else when it came to the park. It's literally the exact same neighborhood and park from NBA 2K19, so they put in minimal effort to this game, and it just made it feel like we were playing a game that we already played for a full year. And I think that's the reason why so many people are disappointed. I mean, there's been a lot of bugs and a lot of glitches, which definitely adds on to the fact that this game isn't enjoyable. There's a lot of unbalanced things in NBA 2K20, like slashers are absolutely overpowered this year, the hop steps, and a bunch of other things I could talk about. But NBA 2K20 had so much potential to be a really good game. Sometimes I sit here and I just imagine NBA 2K20 being enjoyable, being fun, with the badge progression system, with the rep. It really gets me excited to think about what the potential of NBA 2K20 could be. But in reality, the game is basically a reskin 2K19, and it's just absolutely boring when it comes to park or the neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. And another thing, they decided to keep the neighborhood in NBA 2K20 that nobody liked from the previous 2 years. So that being said, NBA 2K20 comes in right after NBA 2K18 for the second worst park experience in the NBA 2K franchise. Coming in on the next spot on the list is NBA 2K14, coming in at number 5. Now, I kind of want to have a little bit of a discussion about this game because I know some people are probably going to feel a certain way about this game being ranked not as high. I actually think NBA 2K14 is at a perfect position here in my personal opinion, and there is a couple reasons behind that. Now, NBA 2K14 in terms of gameplay was well ahead of its time, and it was a great experience gameplay-wise in the park. Now, with that being said, this is focusing on the park game mode, and since NBA 2K14 was the first 2K to introduce the park mode, there were a lot of things that weren't included in the park. What I mean by that is it was very basic compared to the other games on this list, if you understand what I'm talking about. But overall, for gameplay and it being the first time it being introduced, I think that NBA 2K14 did a relatively good job. And in this list, from now on, I think every game is considered good or great. So NBA 2K14 coming in at number 5 is not a bad position at all. Obviously, there were some issues, some glitches. I believe there was a big problem with the game where you actually couldn't get on the squad spot with your teammate, whatever the case may be. Couldn't join your teammates' parks. I mean, that's still an issue nowadays. But overall, NBA 2K14 was a pretty enjoyable park experience. The only thing that really bothered me was the scoreboard wasn't actually on your screen at all times. It was on like the middle of the court, if you know what I'm talking about. But with that being said, NBA 2K14 comes in at number 5 on the list of the best park experiences. Coming in at number 4 is NBA 2K19. Now, I think my opinion on this game has definitely changed since the release of 2K20 because I think I'm a lot more appreciative of NBA 2K19 when it comes to the park experience. Now, NBA 2K19 had a lot of good things and it did have a lot of flaws. Now, you guys probably remember the first couple months. I think it was actually longer than a couple months. I'm not really too sure because I actually took a complete break from this game when pushing was in the game. If you guys played NBA 2K19, even if you didn't play NBA 2K19, you probably know about the pushing that was involved with NBA 2K19. It allowed users to push their opponents out of the way and allow for them to have a wide open jump shot, wide open dunk. Basically, it was unguardable and every single person did it when it was in the game. And it was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen introduced into an NBA 2K game. Now, eventually it was patched, which is a good thing, and it made the park experience a lot more enjoyable. There were obviously still some things wrong with the game, like pure rims being able to shoot, pure lockdowns were absolutely overpowered, but overall, the game was pretty good. The dribbling was good, the shooting was good, the archetypes were pretty balanced, minus the fact of lockdowns and pure rims, but other than that, the game overall was pretty enjoyable. They did unfortunately add back Road to 99, which once again nobody really enjoyed, but if you look past all of the flaws and the pushing and the things that they actually eventually fixed, the overall park experience actually wasn't that bad, and that's why NBA 2K19 comes in at number 4. Breaking into the top 3 is NBA 2K17. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, some of your guys' list starting now is probably going to be a little bit different. Some positions are going to be a little different than others. Matter of fact, your guys' list may be a little different already. But for the top 3, this was easily the hardest decision I've had to make, choosing between these 3 games. But I think it's fair to put NBA 2K17 at a respectable number 3 spot when it comes to the park experience. NBA 2K17 is a very interesting game within the community because NBA 2K17 was actually pretty disliked by the community when it was relevant. But now looking back at it, especially when it comes to the park experience, I guarantee people would say that they missed the game and they would love to go back. NBA 2K17 did a really good job with park this year, especially when it came to the rep rewards. Rep this year was absolutely intense, and the final reward was you being able to fly around in a jetpack, and I really believe that that rep reward was well ahead of its time for NBA 2K17. When it came to the core gameplay, NBA 2K17 was very, very fun. The archetypes were pretty balanced for the most part, and the game was just fun. The only thing that I would have to say about NBA 2K17 that was pretty annoying was the brick wall screens that were able to be set in the park when it came to NBA 2K17. And another thing that a lot of people don't consider is this was the last year that NBA 2K actually did not introduce the road to 99. I mean, 2K21, there's not a road to 99. You can still get 99 overall, whatever. But the main focus there for most park players is the rep. But NBA 2K17 did the rep perfectly. And overall, the game in terms of a park experience was extremely fun. This was also the year where point forwards were actually pretty good, and I think, I could be mistaken here, but I think this was the last year that point forwards were actually usable, because I know in NBA 2K20 small forwards are actually very unusable. So overall, NBA 2K17 gets a respectable number 3 spots when it comes to the park experience in NBA 2K. Coming in at number 2 is NBA 2K15, and honestly, this absolutely hurts my soul. If this was a personal list, I would put NBA 2K15 at number 1 for my personal park experience, because NBA 2K15 was definitely the most fun I've ever had playing park in an NBA 2K game. Now, the reason why NBA 2K15 was such a liked game is because the game was actually fun and it was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong though, NBA 2K15 was broken, there were a lot of glitches, there were the demigods, things like that, but overall, the arcadey feel of NBA 2K15 made the game feel much more enjoyable. There was no introduction of the archetypes or anything like that, and it was very, very basic. It was pretty easy to shoot, dribbling was good, and overall the park experience was a very fun time. I want you guys to keep in mind, this was the year after NBA 2K14, and this was the year they first ever introduced Park Rep, and Park Rep in this game was absolutely perfect for it being the first time it was ever introduced in NBA 2K franchise. Overall, NBA 2K15 will always hold a special place in my heart, as it will with most of you guys. NBA 2K15 as a park experience was a very fun time and will always have memories for everyone who actually got a chance to play the game. So at number 2, we have NBA 2K15. And coming in at number 1, very well deserved, a lot of you guys probably already assumed it, but it is the legendary, unforgettable, I don't even know if I said that word right, memorable NBA 2K16. I don't even know what I can say that is a negative about this game. This game was probably just the most polished game when it came to the park aspect of the game. NBA 2K16 is easily one of the best 2K games ever made, not even just for the park experience. But when it came to the park experience, this game was well ahead of its time. The rep, the dribble moves, the overall gameplay, it was just amazing. The only thing that I would say negative about NBA 2K16 was the fact that when you got a perfect release, aka a green release, it didn't go in 100% of the time, and they dropped this infamous patch that absolutely ruined speed boosting and slowed the game down a lot. But before any of that, before the patching, the game was perfect. I would say the game was perfect. I know a lot of people are going to be a little on me for that, saying the game was perfect. When it comes to park, I would say that this game was perfect. It wasn't terribly broken, it wasn't terribly unrealistic, it was arcadey, but it was still extremely fun. It was an upgrade from NBA 2K15, even though I think NBA 2K15 personally was my favorite park experience. Overall, everybody has to go with NBA 2K16. Just an absolute legendary 2K, especially when it comes to the park experience. Now, with that being said, that is going to bring the video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video actually took me a very long time to make. If you did, make sure to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm on my way to California, and peace. Just a little self-promotion here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Phantuums. It's on your screen. Go follow. I'll follow all you guys back. Bye.